Hi, you're listening to the My Body, My Story podcast.
But I think that's, if there was one thing I could change in myself at any age, it would be the what if,
This is the 45 over 45 chapter, where we celebrate rule breakers and role models, the women who inspire us to live life our way and to show their sensuality, beauty, soul, and true essence. I'm your host, Alina, and I'm interviewing 45 women over the age of 45 while they're sitting in my makeup chair and getting their makeover for the project's photo shoot. Here we talk about what it's like to be 45 plus, adjusting to the changes that come with time, and we'll listen to the stories of our participants. If you have an interesting story to share, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us on info@alexandrawalker.com, and that's Alexandra spelled with a KS, or visit our website, alexandrawalker.com. Welcome, Katrina. Thank you for coming today and sharing your story. And while we get you all glammed up with hair and makeup, how about you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I don't know where to start. I'm a mother of 3. I'm recently divorced, as in only, I suppose, officially in January this year. I'm a nurse. I've been a nurse for probably just going on 30 years, but about 18 months ago I left nursing and went into pharmaceutical repping.
Lots of changes.
And obviously with the separation and then the divorce, obviously changed the house dynamics, and probably one thing COVID did give me was a bit of time, so I actually searched the internet for houses and I bought myself a house.
Oh wow.
So that was a big
it's a huge
big
year
change
for you.
It's been a crazy 2 years. It's lots of changes. I've probably lost and regained. I lost 35 kilos up until about 12 months ago. I probably put on about a little bit since COVID. But nevertheless, I got fit. I have never been a runner, and I learnt to run. So about 18 months ago I did my first 5 kilometre run with some help of some friends.
I couldn't survive a kilometre.
And I've probably been a little bit slack of late. I haven't been running very much, but I do want to get back into it. So lots of changes, lots of positive changes.
What made you change your career? Sorry, it's a big thing. Like, you've been doing nursing for so long, and then are you enjoying this now?
It has its ups and downs. Yeah. It's a whole culture change. It's a whole mindset change on nursing. I think in nursing, I suppose your day is driven by other people, whereas in this role, I have to drive my day.
So reactive versus proactive.
Absolutely. I think I've been in a reactive role my entire life. So that's probably the biggest struggle I have in the job that I have, is that I have to plan. I have to be very proactive. I have to put myself out there, put my big girl pants on, as I say, and go out there and face the world. But yeah, what made me change? I don't know. I think I did after everything I'd been through, and I had a lot of anxiety around the separation and a few things, and I met some people, and I did a self-development course, and I think, I don't know whether it sort of gave me the courage or whether it just kind of, I don't know,
inspired you.
Pushed me forward a little bit. But it gave me a little bit more of a boost, and probably a little bit, probably guts is a bad word, but yeah, it sort of gave me, I suppose, the guts to put myself out there a little bit more. Yeah. And it was probably something that, not necessarily pharmaceutical repping, but medical type things has always been in the back of my mind, and this job sort of just presented itself at probably the perfect time, because if it would come up probably now, I probably wouldn't have taken it. Yeah. And certainly if it had come up, a couple of years earlier, I certainly wouldn't have taken it. So it was obviously the right time that it popped up, and so it's been interesting. It's been a big learning curve.
Yeah, wow, you have been busy last 2 years. So if you had to choose something, what are you most passionate about?
Probably my family. And when I say my family, like obviously, you know, my dad and my mum's passed away a few years back, but, you know, I think my kids, but also I suppose over the last 18 months I've taken on, I mean, I suppose been involved in another family, in my partner's family, and, you know, and I think I'm passionate about them doing well as well as my children. And although we are obviously not the same family, I think we blend quite well. And I think for me, I wish, and I'm probably passionate about them doing probably as much as my children.
Yeah. So. Oh, that's very sweet. So everyone knows that with age we change, but what positive changes have you experienced as you're growing older?
Probably, and people would, my partner would probably beg to differ on this because I do still have a lot of anxiety and a lot of negativity around things. But I think with age, I suppose it's given me the ability to do things. Like, as I said, I would never have run before because I would have been too embarrassed to do it. Yeah. Whereas now I just do it. I may not do it very well, but I go and do it. And even the job, changing the jobs, you know, I wouldn't have done that years ago, whereas now I sort of think, well, it's now or never, you know. Right. I think just get it done. But yeah, I think, as I said, I mean, I still do have a lot of fears and a lot of probably irrational anxieties over doing new things. But I think
does.
Yeah,
change is hard, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, but I think as I get older, I think, you know, I probably do put myself out there a little bit more than I used to.
You have the strength to sort of fight your fears and just go
for
it. Yeah,
possibly. I mean, as I said, I mean, I probably have a little bit of, you know, panic around in that space, but anyway.
Plenty of time, you know. In 2 years' time, you'll be doing something, you know, I don't know, jumping off a plane with a parachute or something.
Yeah, I don't think that'll ever happen. But
never say never. So what is the biggest challenge you are experiencing at this age now?
Probably mood fluctuations. My mood, as my son says, I can go from a hero to a zero in 5 seconds flat. But yeah, I think that's probably the hardest thing. I don't believe, like just talking to other people, I don't think I'm going through menopause terribly. I mean, some people have got, you know, horrendous symptoms. I met someone the other week who hasn't even been able to work because hers have been so bad. But so I obviously do fine, but I think the moods to me, like you wake up and you don't really know how you're going to be for the day because it kind of takes over. And although you can probably try and control it to a point, it does become quite irrational. And I'm probably very lucky in that my partner is quite understanding of my moods. He has a bit to say about them sometimes.
Well, when you're in a good mood, right?
Oh, no, he'll just throw it out there. But he's
brave.
Yeah. But he is very, very understanding, I think, yeah.
That's great. Describe your greatest accomplishment.
Children. Yeah. They've all, although my daughter's only 16, but they haven't kind of obviously all found their path because they're still young. They're all switched on, they're all fit, they're healthy, they follow what they want to do, which is good.
You did well.
And they don't get into trouble, which is good.
Yeah. What advice would you give your 30-year-old self?
Probably not worry so much. Probably try, and look, at 50 I still do what if, but my dad even said the other day, you know, stop with the what ifs. But I think that's, if there was one thing I could change in myself at any age, it would be the what if. Just, just see what happens, write it out and see what happens.
Live in the moment,
Yeah, live in the moment, which is something I'm not very good at.
Yeah, not many, I think, can. We all worry about either the past or the future, right? What advice would you give younger women who will eventually undergo these changes?
talk about it.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to put it out there, and don't hide it. Don't hide behind, I suppose, if you're feeling anxious, depressed, talk about it. Definitely.
Even just talking about it helps, right? Like it doesn't have to be anything, sharing with a friend or colleague or anyone really.
I mean, I can tell my partner my irrational thought process, and he'll say, you do realise that's in your head, that's not the reality. I said, yeah, I'm well aware of that. But just being able to voice that to somebody helps.
That's right. And you need to hear that back. It's just in your head, okay? It's in your head. Where do you think the idea of a perfect body image comes from?
I think people say the media. I think the media has a lot to do with it. But I don't know that it is just that, because if you turn back time way before, what's out there today with your Instagrams and everything else, there was always still body images.
Yeah.
There was always tall, short, fat, thin.
Exactly.
So I think it's something within. I think if you don't feel good about yourself, you're never going to portray yourself as well. I think media certainly hypes it up a bit, but I think ultimately it's within.
What does it mean to you feeling good and looking good, and what do you think comes first?
Feeling good, definitely. I think if you feel good, I know I can look back at photos from me a couple of years ago, even further back, where I probably wasn't in a great place, and I looked terrible. And then probably a couple of years ago where, I remember my dad saying to me, this is so exciting, it's nice to see Katrina Doyle back, which is obviously my maiden name. And I look at photos from then, and I was on top of the world. Like I was, so I think if you feel good, you come across vibrant, and you come across happy and peaceful, and I think that is very attractive.
Yeah. And it also puts you in the mood to looking good, whatever that means to you, right? Putting on a new dress or whatever.
And I think having that confidence, I saw it in my daughter the other day. She always gets around in, sweatpants or whatever, but we went and saw Hamilton. And
I did too. It was awesome.
And she put some high heels on, and, she didn't put a lot of makeup on, she just put a little bit of makeup on, and you could see the difference because she felt good in what she was wearing.
That's right.
Yeah, so I think that's it. I think the feeling comes way before before how you look.
Yeah, then everything else shapes after that, sort of gets put into place in a way. What makes you feel the most beautiful?
I don't know. Probably, feeling fit and healthy, I think, definitely. But also, feeling the love from my partner, I suppose, and from my children.
Yeah.
I think.
Being surrounded by love.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Without that, what is there?
Yeah, so true. What's your favourite quote about being a woman? It could be anything, like a song or, I don't know, a piece of poem you heard, or anything that you thought of yourself.
No, I have no idea.
I know, it's a hard one. There's so many out there. They can't be just...
I don't know. Nothing really comes to mind with a quote.
Maybe for you, it's probably something like, I don't know, don't be afraid of change, or you've had a lot of change in the last 2 years.
I have had a lot of change.
And you owning it, you're winning, you're on top of the world. Even if you do have anxiety, it doesn't matter. You're doing it.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I think I'm probably in a situation where I've been able to get a second chance at life. I'm actually with somebody who I dated 30 years ago.
That's like a whole different podcast. That would be an interesting story.
It has its ups and downs, but I think maybe it's never too late to get a second chance.
Yeah, that's a good one. Never too late for a second chance. I like that one. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing your story, Katrina.
No,
Spending
thank you.
time with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
If you have an interesting story to share, we'd love for you to participate. You can email us on info@alexandrawalker.com, and that's Alexandra spelled with a KS, or visit our website alexandrawalker.com.